We in the building with my boy Hassan Hobo. What's good, my boy?
What's going on, man?
Man, same old, same old. It's 2018, man. How things been starting off for you so far?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
That's good, man. Just starting off, man. Let's just give the people an introduction of yourself. Your name, where you're from, and what exactly do you do?
My full name is Hassan G.G. Allen Ginsberg Hobo. I come from the Bronx, New York, but I have people out in Augusta and whatnot that I appreciate, and that's the place that I call home now, and I am a rapper.
Okay, so I'm actually from Augusta, bro.
Hey.
I didn't know you were from Augusta, so that's small world.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna start it off with the name, bro. I need you to break that name down one more time for me, as well as giving the people, the meaning behind your name. How did you come with that? How did you come up with that name?
Well, the full name is Hassan G.G. Allen Ginsberg Hobo, and one of my, two of my favorite artists are G.G. Allen and Allen Ginsberg. G.G. Allen is a deceased rock star, infamous for all of his crazy stunts, like shitting on stage, beating up people in the crowd, throwing glass at people. And Allen Ginsberg was one of the original beat poets. Him and Jack Kerouac, as well as the dude who wrote Junkie, William S. Burroughs, they're all like good friends, and he was one of my favorite poets, and I always thought it was like a weird dichotomy that like he shared like a name with like a person that was like so out there. And the El Hobo came from like when I first started out, I had a whole bunch of different names, and I couldn't really settle on anything. So I remember one day I made like an Instagram post, and like I always had a pretty weird style. So like my big brother, who actually got me into writing, he called it Hobo Couture. I was like, oh, that's funny. I'll start going by Hassan El Hobo, and it just kind of stuck. So.
Okay. So you said you're from the Bronx.
Yes.
Okay, so how long did you stay in New York? How long were you up there for?
Not very long. My mom decided to move down after my sister, her husband moved down. So I got here around maybe 9, 10, something like that. Okay,
and just give us a little glimpse of what you remember from being in the Bronx. What was it like for you up there?
It was a lot. The two of the most serious memories that I remember is the lady that stayed in the apartment next to us died, and no one knew. I remember we were going to Pathmark, and I came home, and like me and my mom was like, what is this smell in the hallway? And then the next day it was like, yeah, the old lady next to us died. She'd been in there for like a week, nobody knew. And then like not too long after, somebody jumped off the building, some crazy stuff like that. That was wild. I will never forget that. I just leaned out, I was like, whoa, that's a lot of blood. I'm not about to deal with that. But other than that, it was pretty fun. I got to spend a lot of time with like my family and stuff like that. A lot of them are still up there, so like I don't get to visit them as much or see them as much, but it's always nice to like remember that, that's where they are.
For sure. So you also said that you consider Augusta to be your home. Okay, so what part of Augusta do you consider yourself to be from?
Definitely. Damn.
Name the biggest or the most main street that you
Riceboro Road, man. I stay right down the street from the mall, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a couple partners stay really everywhere. Yeah. Down the Heritage though, that's where I spend a lot of my time.
Yeah. I had some homies out there. I had some homies across the street in George's place.
Yeah.
Fox Den, all that good stuff. Back when it was really about it.
I was gonna say it get gangsta over
there. Yeah, it was really about it. So
yeah, it get a little gangsta over there now.
And my mom tried to keep me out the streets to depending on who you talk to, a differing amount of security, but I still got some homies out there that's with the shits. So.
For sure, we probably know some of the same people.
Probably, man. Yeah,
honestly, because Augusta's really not that big.
Yeah, it's small.
Yeah. So we're gonna dive into the music, man. So how did you get started with music?
Well, ever since like 5th grade, I always wanted to as long as I can remember, I always wanted to be a rapper. It wasn't anything involved with like the fame or like the money or anything. It was just I love words. To this day, I still love words. I always wanted to be like a writer, a poet, something. So my big brother Jordan, he's the one that actually got me into writing. He taught me kind of like the ropes and everything. And he used to just give me flash drives full of music. I was already into music at that time. Like I had just stacks and stacks of like burned CDs and stuff. So I would just, just write constantly in notebooks. Then by the time I got to middle school, I remember I got laughed out of the first rap battle I was in. So at that point, it was just like a pride thing. Like, I'm gonna make sure nobody ever can like sun me anywhere at any time. And by the time I got to high school, I had won, or I had helped my teacher win a grant for a whole wing of the school, basically. And since he was a music instructor, he basically bought us a whole studio. And he taught me the ins and outs of the studio, and he let me like figure out like what it is that I wanted to do, because originally I was playing guitar, I learned how to play trumpet, and I was in band, but like even though I loved it, it wasn't like necessarily what I wanted to do. So like he taught me the ins and outs of the studio, and he basically let me run it from, I want to say 10th to my senior year, 10th grade to my senior year. So
okay. What high school did you go to?
Richmond.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely know somebody.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
2013.
Yeah, we probably know we have to know somebody along the same lines. Yeah, we have to. Okay. So I know you said your brother gave you a lot of flash drives and just a lot of music in general. What other inspirations do you think probably got you started with music?
Honestly, like I was just always into like just super weird artists and everything. He kind of put me onto a bunch of stuff because of course I started out with like Eminem, all the good stuff, but like a lot of my friends consider me to be like a rap scientist, like just, I love just finding new crazy artists to be into, and Jordan was really the one that put me onto that. A lot of early Doom, a lot of early Wu-Tang, just even some crazy dudes that we used to just find on the internet that were like exciting to us. So we decided to form a little group between us and our friends, and that was the thing that kind of pushed me to be better, because as good as I believe that I am, Jordan has always been like top tier writing for me. So
okay. So while I'm on the subject of asking other inspirations, I'm gonna ask you two different questions. So the first one is, well, I have a few questions actually.
No, it's fine.
The first one, it's not so much of a question, it's more so you listing your top 5 rappers of all time.
All time? Ooh, that's a good one. I'd have to say Blue, Milo, Elucid, Doom, and who's number 5? Who is number 5? Joey Green.
So I'm not really familiar with any of them. So you're gonna have to give me a little taste of something to where I can know like a little bit about them, man.
Well, Blue kind of came up around the same time as Lupe. He's a West Coast artist, and I remember his first tape. I want to say The Color Blue. That was a really good tape. Doom hails from New York. Metal Face Doom, definitely one of my favorite artists. Crazy dude, never really shows up to his own shows. Is infamous for having imposters at his own shows that like rap his music and everything, and his fans still show up. It's crazy. Milo is a kind of, depending on who you want to talk to, he started the whole art rap thing. He's definitely like more poet than human. And Elucid, definitely another one of my favorite New York artists. I don't even know how to begin to explain Elucid. He's super out there. Definitely one of my favorite noise rappers of all time. And Joey Green, DMV artist. I was actually listening to him a few minutes ago. He's very skilled, but he's like, it's more conventional, but like he just likes to rap, no hooks, nothing like that. He's all about the bars.
Okay. So next question is, another set of 5 for you. Give me your top 5 artists. Doesn't matter the genre of all time.
Definitely got to start off with my man Hunter S. Thompson. He's definitely one of my favorite writers of all time. Back when I had a group me, I used to go by Hassan S. Thompson, and people were just like, "That's not your actual name," and I just keep it a mystery as to who it was. William S. Burroughs. He was a good friend of Hunter S. Thompson at the time, and they both were like super heavy into drugs and whatnot. And his book Junkie, as well as Naked Lunch. Those are definitely two of my favorite novels of all time. Definitely very esoteric writing. Who else? Allen Ginsberg, where half of my namesake comes from. He's one of my favorite poets of all time. His spoken word has always like been very moving to me. G.G. Allen, just because he was insane, very insane individual. Two of my other favorite artists of all time.
You got time, man. There's no pressure.
Right? I'd have to say Caravaggio. He was a Renaissance painter. I actually did some reading up on him a couple years back, and he was, as much as he was a painter, he was like, I guess, the equivalent of a street thug back then. My man's was really he was with the shits. He ended up getting exiled to like a faraway island in Italy, or maybe it was Greece. I think it might have been Crete, but he was definitely like in and out. But like his painting was like so crazy for the way that he used like light, and definitely inspired Chiaroscuro. I think that's all I got right now.
For sure. How long have you been rapping, man? How long have you been making music?
Ever since 5th grade. I started recording in 10th grade, but I've been writing ever since 5th grade. So it's been about, I was 10 back then, 9, 10. I'm 22 now, so going on 12 years, just about, just pure writing.
And would you consider it to be 12 years of being totally serious with it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope. Okay. So with your music, man, do you have a writing style or a process when creating your music?
I do. It's very freeform. I try, cause I never learned, for all of my like musical instruction, doing trumpet and guitar and all the other stuff, I never really learned to like count bars or like do sheet music or anything. Even like when I did band back in like 8th grade, like I used to just play by ear. Like, so, a lot of my writing style kind of like reflects that. I just kind of write what comes to mind. Sometimes I just don't write it. Sometimes I'm in the shower, I don't have time to grab my phone or something, so I just like remember it and I just recite it in my head until it feels right.
Okay.
So a lot of my stuff just comes from, I read. Sometimes I pull inspiration from things that I read, other artists that I like. Sometimes I, just look at paintings and I kind of like draw inspiration from that. But usually it just comes from like however long feels right, and I'll keep going until like I have to either edit stuff out or put it back in, or just. But it's very freeform, very just kind of put together like a jigsaw puzzle.
That's dope. That's very dope. So do you have specific producers that you like working with right now?
Yes, definitely. My man JK, he's out in, I want to say, Arizona. He's definitely one of my favorite artists to work with production-wise. Even though we haven't like actually like linked up in person, he's definitely on the same like vein of like production, weird loops and stuff that I like to do. And we end up, like, I see his like IG stories and everything, and he's like always posting music that I'm into, and he's like, "What, you like that too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I never knew that other people like even knew about this shit." So like, it's very cool to like see that, like, even if people aren't like rapping or writing, like they're still using the same inspirations to like make stuff that I like, and not only that, but I can contribute in a very meaningful way to like what it is that he likes. Who else? Definitely Riddle C. He's definitely another part of my team. I love working with him. I like Riddle C because like he definitely pushes me to do stuff outside of my norm. Being that like I love where I come from, the Bronx, I try to like tend towards more like loops, more jazzy, soulful stuff. But Riddle C, he definitely brings like a chopped and screwed like Southern flavor, which I don't think a lot of people understand. But that on top of like, the New York stuff, that's kind of like what I grew up listening to. A lot of my friends and even some of my other relatives that tried their hand at writing, like they just played chopped and screwed stuff. Like I still have old DJ Screw tapes that like I listen to. So
for sure. You have any artists that you're working with right now that you, I guess that you spend a lot of time working with right now?
Definitely JK. Carla, she's another one that I enjoy working with a lot. She also pushes me. She does like a lot of out there production. I definitely enjoy working with the other members of Rain Cloud a lot. There's so many like different styles and stuff that they bring to the table that it kind of pushes me outside of my boundaries and stuff. So like they'll ask me to be on songs or like beats and stuff that like normally I'd say like maybe 3 or 4 years ago I'd be like, nah, you know, I couldn't do that. But now it's more of a challenge as to like, you know, can I, not even can I, but like how is it that I'm going to approach the song? And they also kind of like bring different perspectives that I can respect as well as admire. So I'm kind of arrogant, so I never really. There are a bunch of rappers out there that I'm like, nah, I'd never work with you. So